YouTube, what's going on? Trey again to y'all with another video. Hope y'all having a very great day. Hope y'all having a very great week. My day is going absolutely magnificent. Big shout out to all the channel members and subscribers to Trey King Show family. And much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have started in Georgia by way of Atlanta. And big shout out to everybody in the great state of Georgia, everybody outside the great city of Atlanta. Now before I start this story, I want to send a special thank you out to my channel members and also to my subscribers for sending me this story. And also, keep these stories coming. And now you all, let me ask you a question. Have you ever got into an argument with your spouse and you called one of their family members over to diffuse the situation, but when the family member got to your home, they only made the damn situation worse? Have you ever had that happen to you? Because I had that happen to me several times when I was in my 20s. Now, this story right here is going to show you also that when you have an argument with your spouse and you all cannot settle your disputes, the best thing to do is to go your separate ways until the both of you cool down. Because as this story is going to play out, you got to be careful who you call over to your home when you all are having an argument, because things may just take a turn for the worse. As in the case of this story right here, where we have a 54-year-old father who goes by the name of Durante Tolliver, who's supposed to have went to his son, Durante Schofield, home to de-escalate an argument that his son was having with the girlfriend. But lo and behold, when the dad got there, that's when things got way worse. And now on one hand, you would think by being a father and a son that things would not turn out bad, that things would not turn out deadly, because we are talking about family. But like I tell you all in a lot of these videos I have been doing a lot lately, that family can be your worst, because I'm quite sure that you all have seen some of these videos I have been doing lately where family is turning on each other. So let me ask you this. If you go to your son or daughter home and you're there to de-escalate an argument that they was having with their spouse, what's the last thing you're going to do? The last thing you're going to do is make the situation worse. Because the reason why you're supposed to be there was to calm things down, not to make things worse. And that's why you got to be careful who you call over to your home when you're having an argument with your spouse. Because the last thing you want is somebody to come in there and make the situation way worse. And let's begin.
A man shot and killed by his father is struggling to understand how a family dispute turned deadly. Today, we got the mugshot of the man accused of killing his own son.
And now, family, this incident had taken place Thursday, October the 30th, around 12 a.m. in the morning, where we have the son, Durante Schofield, who was said to have an argument with his girlfriend. And the reason why Durante and his girlfriend was arguing, so says the news, was because earlier that day, Durante Schofield had crashed his vehicle into a building. Now, we don't know if it's the building that he was staying in, but he was very upset that he crashed his car. So the girlfriend, trying to defuse the situation, she calls the dad after Durante would not come down. So the dad comes over to her home, but when he got there, he makes things way worse than what they already was. So on one hand, you got to ask yourself this right here. Number one, why would the dad come over there if you're not going to de-escalate the situation? That's the whole point of you coming to the home, was to de-escalate this whole ordeal that they was having, not to make things worse. And that's why I told y'all a few minutes earlier, be careful who you call to your home when you and your spouse is having problems. Because as this story will unfold, you all will see that some people will come inside your home, inside your residence, and also your lives, and make things worse. Let's continue.
A judge denied bond for their father, 54-year-old Durante Rowe Tolliver. Investigators say he drove to the 55 Far Apartments in Buckhead after learning his son had been involved in a car crash. According to an affidavit, he and his son began fighting inside the apartment, but when officers arrived, they say both men appeared calm and walked out together.
Now, after hearing what the news reporter has stated, family, ask yourself this. Why would the dad come over there at 12 a.m. in the morning and then proceed to have an argument, then a fight with his son? Your whole point of coming over there was to do what? Yes, somebody said it, you're paying attention today. Was to diffuse the situation, was to de-escalate the situation, not to make things worse. So what was the whole purpose of you coming over there if you're going to get there and start a fight with your son? Because remember, his son is 32 years old. So all that trying to chastise your son and talk to him like a little boy, that's not going to work, because your son is now a man. Now, true enough, you are his dad and he should respect you. But at the same time, you got to give respect in order to do what? Yes, to get respect. So why come over there and add fuel to the fire? Think about that. Your job was to de-escalate the situation. Now, on one hand, you got to ask yourself this. How can two people that's upset calm each other down? They're not going to be able to calm each other down. You know why? Because both of them are hot heads. Both of them are upset. So clearly, to the girlfriend, I know you didn't mean for your boyfriend to get killed in this manner, but at the same time, you should not have called that dad over there. What you should have done, or what Durante should have done, was left each other alone for a while, cool down, and guess what? Call each other and try to talk it out. The last thing you want to do by you all being grown, full grown at that, is to call people over. That's stuff teenagers do. Now, on one hand, you got to say this also to yourself. If you got to argue with somebody, no matter what the situation is, because remember, the argument was over Durante crashing his car. It wasn't like the girlfriend caught him cheating. It wasn't like Durante was beating up the girlfriend or anything like that. So what was the need for the dad to come over there and start a fight with his son? Think about that. But the excuses that you all about to hear is going to trip you out. Let's continue.
Once they got to the parking lot, the argument started again. Investigators say the father told police he believed his son reached towards his waistband as if he had a gun, so he fired at least 12 shots. Police say they searched Schofield's body, but he did not have a gun.
And now think about this, family. How can the dad, Durante Tolliver, say to the police the reason why he shot his son down, shot this young man 12 times, was because he thought his son had a gun? But guess what, though? If his son had a gun, why didn't the police see the gun when they got there? And also, Durante was a convicted felon, but they said he turned his life around. So, number one, he's not going to have a gun. If he did have a gun, guess what? He's not going to have the gun on him because he's a convicted felon, because the police was inside the home talking to the girlfriend. So quite naturally, if he had a gun on him, wouldn't the police have not seen it? And also, if he had a gun on him, remember, him and the dad already had a fight. So, if Durante did have a gun on him, the son that is, why didn't he pull the gun out when him and his dad was fighting? So you mean to tell me, you wait till the police come, walk your son outside, he gets inside your vehicle, the dad said that he slammed the door, and the dad told him to step out and cool down. But lo and behold, when Durante stepped out the vehicle, him and his dad are like 10 or 15 feet apart. So if you all that close together, guess what? You can tell if your son got a weapon or not. So how can you sit there and say that you thought your son had a gun when you're standing right next to him, only a few feet away? So you mean to tell me, by you thinking that your son have a gun, you shoots him 12 times? Now ask yourself this, family, how many shots it takes to figure out if a person have a gun, especially a son or a daughter? We're not talking about some thug or some street person that you don't even know. We're talking about family. And the last thing you want to do is what? Yeah, somebody said it. Hurt your family. So, how long did it take you to realize that your son didn't have a gun? It should have been like the first or second shot. Who shoots their child 12 times and then had the nerve to tell the police the reason why they did that was because they thought their child had a gun and was going to pull a gun on them? But at the same time, ask yourself this before we close up. If the son really did have a gun, why did he pull the gun on you when you all was fighting inside the apartment? And also, remember what I just said a couple of minutes earlier. The son was a convicted felon. So, of course, he's not going to have the gun on him when the police is already there inside the apartment talking to the girlfriend. I mean, come on, Dad. That's crazy as hell for you to sit there and say that the reason why you gunned your son down was because you was in fear of your life. Think about that. The nerve of some people. But that right there within itself should show you the nerve of some people. They go to show you how some of your family would do you. Let's close up.
And Dee told me that although her brother was a convicted felon, he had really gotten his life together. He was making positive changes and really having a positive influence on his friends and family.
And now in closing, I want you all to really think about this. Now, as you all heard the news reporter state and also the sister state that Durante Schofield was a convicted felon. So like I told you all, of course, he's not going to have the gun on him when the police was at the apartment. But on one hand, you got to ask yourself this. Now, this young man turned his life around, and he was trying to do the right thing, and he also had 2 children. And his family and friends looked up to him, spoke highly of him. But guess what, though? Soon as he get his life in order, soon as he get his affairs in order, God take him out of here. And that's what happened to a lot of us in this life. Look, I'm not trying to sit up here and preach to you all, but at the same time, it's strange that when people sit there and be doing wrong, God spare them. But as soon as they turn their life around and get their life together, guess what? That's when something tragic happened to them. It's a sad situation. What would make the story even more sadder, family, is the fact that you have a father taking his son out. And the only excuse that the father could give us was the fact that he thought his son had a gun. And come to find out, the son did not have a gun. The police search did not find any weapon. Now, like I told you all, how long does it take to realize that your family member don't have a gun if you're shooting at them? You should realize that after the first or second shot. It don't take 12 shots to realize that your son did not have a gun. Think about that. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. There's anything I may have missed or misinformed, which is not my true intent. Please let me know in the comments section, or you can email me and we can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Also share the video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed and be careful who you call to your home when you and your spouse is arguing. And also, if you're full grown, there's no need for you all to be arguing 12 something in the morning, no matter what happened, unless that person is cheating. And even if they are cheating, guess what? Pack your bags and make them pack their bags and leave. But do not call people over to de-escalate a situation, because sometimes, as you all seen and heard, these people will only make the situation worse. But anyway, I will see you all soon on the next Trey King Show, and I'm out.